Hello Stampers, this is Sheila with Stampin' Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to do a quick and simple but fun fold double Dutch fancy fold card, I guess is what you'd call it. Anyway, the set that I'm using here is this Floral Essence Bundle. I just love these. These make not only beautiful flowers, but they make such wonderful background stamps to make your own DSP, so keep that in mind. So this is the card that we're going to be making today. It says just a little note to say hello, and then you open it up. On each side it says, with friendly thoughts and best wishes today and every day. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so I'm using the DSP that I'm using comes from the Follow Your Art Designer Series paper, and I'm using this piece here, and on that piece, this is one side of it and this is the other side, but I just love, there's something about this look here that I just absolutely love. I wish we had it in several different colors in that design. I just really liked it. Okay, so some of the items I use today, and I've done a little bit of pre-prepping just to help us save a little time today as we're doing this, but I used the stitch shaped framelits, and I cut out 3. This is the So Saffron, and that is your next, this one right here, which I number mine starting at 1 here, so that would be number 2. And then I used the crushed curry, which is number 3, and then I took a DSP, and that's number 4. So I made 3 of those, and that's what we did, this little circle. It just gives a little accent to it. Then for the stamp sets, I'm using the Floral Essence, and I'm going to be using this one for our floral design here. I'm using the leaf for our leaf design. And then for the inside of it, if you look here, I'm using this one along with the inside that goes, I'm guessing it goes with it. It fit right in there, so I'm sure it is. So I'm using this for my inside, and then this leaf and the small leaf. And then from this set here, this is where I'm using a little lace, just a little note to say hello, which is in the front of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've gotten some of my pieces here, and I'll give you the measurements and scoring, but keep in mind all of this is up on my blog. All the supplies you would need, all the measurements, and if you're looking for someone to buy from, I'd love to have you as a customer, and there is a link to my store there. All right, so using the So Saffron cardstock, we cut it at 4 1/8 by 9 inches. And then we scored it at 5 1/2, which is scored right there. So let's go ahead and use our bone folder and give that a good burnish. Okay, set that here. Then for our band that'll make the bottom panel, this measures 2 by 8 1/2. Now we're going to score this at 2 1/8 on each end. So let's go ahead and bring the score on over here and line it up to 2 1/8. Give it a good burnish, or a good score I should say, and then we flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Give it a good burnish and give it a good burnish here, and as you can see, they come right together. So when it goes around, it's going to go around the bottom of the card like so, and you just kind of balance it in between, and you get a nice flush fit there. So let's go ahead and put this on down, so we'll have that attached. Let me get my glue over here. And I like using the liquid glue. I think the card holds better with it, but mostly because it gives me a couple of seconds to move it around and get it nicely lined in when you're trying to balance it between score lines and the like. So let's go ahead and put it down here. That looks good. Okay. Make sure that gets squished in there real good. All right. So now we have our next panel piece, and we might as well go ahead and put that, and we'll do our inside later. The top panel, this one measured, the cardstock measures 3 1/4 by 3 7/8. The DSP top panel measures 3 inches by 3 5/8, and that just layers right on there and then onto here. So let's go ahead and adhere that. Just a little bit off. There we go. Well, we just have for demonstrators, just a short couple of more weeks until we get our new catalog for the holiday and our pre-ordering starts. If that's something that you've been thinking about, this is a good time to become a demonstrator. They've got extra incentives going on, and if you're interested in that, please hit my contact button. I'd love to talk more with you about it and give you all the benefits that being a demonstrator has, whether you're a hobbyist or whether you're wanting to build a business with it. Either way, there's a lot of advantages of being a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Okay, so let's go ahead and layer this one down. Okay, now these, your cardstock on this bottom panel, this is 1 7/8 by 1 3/4, and the DSP is 1 1/2 by 1 5/8, and you need 2 of those. And again, remember, I do have these measurements out on my blog, so no reason that you need to hurry and write it down or stop the video so you can get it. And because these aren't squares, you need to kind of pay attention to how it goes on, because it'd be easy to get the DSP wrong on it. So make sure you kind of look at that before you do that. I live in New Braunfels, Texas, and they were announcing this week that we had a July cold front coming through, and I thought, yeah, right, you know, a cold front in Texas when we have this humidity and heat wave going on and stuff. And sure enough, during the night, evidently a little one blew through, and it took some of the humidity out, and instead of being, you know, close to 100 or whatever, we're more at 90, and in the evenings it's getting down to 68. So for the next couple of days anyway, gives you a little bit of touch of what's to come, which I cannot wait for the cooler weather. I'm not the hot weather person. I love my cooler weather. So this is a really, you know, there's a little bit of prep work on it and stuff like this, but it's really a quick card to make. And there's so many different designs you can do with this. So if you haven't tried this card, you really should. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this aside now and bring in our panel that's going to go inside our card. And what we're doing with that one is our floral, and then of course our little greeting. So let's bring, I've gone ahead and set up my Stamparatus here, and we'll just go ahead and line it in there and make sure it's straight, and then looks like it's a little bit longer than it should be there. Let's look at it again because I want it right at the edge, and that looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and get our Tuxedo Memento ink out and ink it up real nice. These fonts that are in these are so nice and clear and crisp. I just love them. And again, I love using a Stamparatus because if I don't get it you know, dark enough, then it's real easy to go back over, but I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and take this out and move this off to the side. And remember, when you use your Stamparatus, you do need that extra piece of foam that's in there to help give it the best stamping appearance that you can get from it. Okay, and let's get our Daffodil Delight out. And then start, let's see, bring out this stamp. I'll bring in one of the little pads. I think this is probably cushiony enough, but I always like to get the best stamp image I can get from it. And so we'll start about here. And hopefully I've got that in the... Okay, and then we're going to go, I think about here. And then why don't we go here and bring the paper in so I don't stamp on my ink pad there, or on the little pad. I'm going to put a little bit there. And then I'd like to see the other one about here. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's bring in our Coral, let me get it out here, Calypso Coral. And I was trying to speak it, I guess, in a different language down here, so, but our Calypso Coral. And let's bring in our little center spot for our deal and line it up here. But as I was saying earlier, these type of florals, that's why I like florals so much. They're so versatile, and they make great background stamps. If you can't find, say, your DSP, or you haven't ordered one that you want and you need a quick go-between until it comes in, these stamp sets are great to design your own. So keep that in mind. So let's get this cleaned off and over here. I'm going to kind of stamp this off the paper a little bit. And then let's do another one off here. That one. And then let's bring in a small leaf to kind of come in between here. There we go. Gorgeous. Okay, so we're ready to put this on into the inside of our panel, into our card. So let's bring our card back. All right, tomorrow's my Stamping Up club group. I have a morning one and an evening, so if you're in the New Braunfels area and are interested in coming to the club, your first meeting you attend, there's no cost on it. Would love to have you as a guest. So if you're going to be in the area and would like to, looks like this is a little bit long. See if we can make it work. I think it'll work okay as long as it, yeah. Maybe, yeah, I'll trim that with my scissors. I must have cut it a little bit longer there. Let's do that real quick here on the back. Always a way to fix things, so I'm gonna come up here. But anyway, I have an 8:30 to 11:30 class in the morning, and then the group goes to lunch usually afterwards. We pick up a place we haven't been before, or try to, and try different places and continue our fellowship there. We normally do 3 to 4 projects, depending on the length of the projects and how many. Usually I have 10 in each of the group, but my morning group has grown to 11 now. So sometimes I have to be cognizant of that, because when they're doing their projects and stuff, it sometimes takes too long to take all the pieces unless I have more to go with it. So now we're ready to build our flowers. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think we'll go ahead and stamp. Let's get that on out of the way so we don't forget it. And this is our hello. Just a note to say hello. So let's bring this in here. Alright, so hopefully my head's not going to be in here, but I'm trying to make sure I have it straight here. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this down. And I may have even cut that a little bit. We're going to leave it, but that may have been, no, it fits the way it's supposed to. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put that aside. I have gone ahead and stamped a few of the flowers and leaves just to save us some time on some scrap paper. So I need one more of the Calypso Coral, so we'll bring that on over. And when you're doing this, because your punch, which this is our punch here, your punch, your leaves, if you notice the 2 and then 1, so you want to make sure that's how you stamp it so it'll fit right in there and make it punch out easily. Okay, so we're just going to take it right here. There we go, beautiful. And I'm using 3 and 3 on my flower. You can do any color combination you want. And when I did the edges after I punched and everything, some of them a couple of them I would take and go ahead and like do the edges with a sponge or a dauber. And so that's optional there if you want to do it. So just whatever your preference are. And of course, with everything, the card's not complete to me without our Wink Stella, which we'll do the flower after we get done with some Wink Stella. And so through this part here, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Go ahead and start with the Calypso Coral. And where's my smudge? There it is. And I'm going to do a couple of them by just coming on the edges, or if I wanted to, I could do this just kind of to fill in a little bit of color. So there's one, and I want to leave one white. Let's find it here. Okay, so we'll leave one white. And so that should give me one more that I'll color. Is to use my bone folder and just kind of curl the edges a little bit, just to kind of give it some dimension. And we'll do all of that, and then I take one of my stylists and I come into the center of it and give it a little bit of a poke in the center, and that takes and gives it the other shape that we want it to have, which is down and then in. Okay. And then I put my flowers together using the mini glue dots, or the glue dots, I guess they call them now, not mini glue dots, but the glue dots is what I like to do in between them. And you want to alter them as you're placing them in, so you get a nice floral effect with them. And I do the same thing with my leaves, just a little bit on the edges, just again to give it some dimension and realistic formation there. Okay, let's got one more here, and then we'll quickly put our Wink Stella on. Gotta have that Wink Stella. One of my favorite parts of giving a card. Okay, so I'm going to take my large ball stylus here, this one, and I just do a circular motion, and it brings the leaves back into a more of a floral formation. Okay, and then let's bring this one in, and this one, and this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and start forming this, and I kind of liked mixing them up a little bit, so I think we'll go ahead and do that again, is just layer it one layer at a time and go from there. So let's go ahead and make this our bottom one, and then we'll bring this in. And so then I have, for an accessory in the center of it, I brought in my frosted, these are the frosted epoxy droplets, and they come in the clear and the frosted in your set, and I used, let's use some of the Calypso Coral, make sure I got the right color here. Yes, I'm going to use the dark one, and we'll just color one of them here. And sometimes if I don't think that they're quite dark enough, then I'll blend another color with it. So I think I'm going to go in for my Cajun Craze and get it a little bit deeper. There we go. Perfect. I just love it. I was so extremely tickled when they brought those back in. Oh, one of my mini glue dots. Let's see if they're all, yeah, they're all together. One of them was stuck on that one though. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in the center. Gorgeous. Okay, so now what we want to do is put our circle together. Let's put this off to the side, and then we will prop up our flower with a dimensional, and then we'll stick the leaves behind it. Okay, let's put this in here. And this one here. And let's put us a dimensional over here and put it right there. I don't know if you can see my nails, but see how they're splitting like that? That was from using those gel polish. I went and had a pedicure and a manicure a couple of weeks ago, and I told the lady, I said, I experienced this one other time, but man, they took forever to get them off. And she said, oh, no, it won't happen. And I said, okay, go ahead and do the gel. Well, guess what? It did. And so that is my last time for using gel, because I had to cut all of my natural nail off, and I feel like had to, now it'll take me probably 3 or 4 months for them to grow out, cut them off, grow out and cut them off from that peeling that they're doing on the layers. So just be warned, if you like to wear natural nails, don't let them put the gel. Maybe not everybody reacts to it that way, but man, that's twice. I'm dreading getting my toenail polish taken off. I can't even imagine what my toenails are going to look like if my fingernails look like this. But I think they used some old polish, because this didn't even, I didn't have to use anything. They just peeled off one day. All right, so here we are. We're ready to put our flower on, and what we want to make sure we do so that you don't get it onto your other panel is we're only going to do part of the back here. So you kind of just have to decide, and I think I like this way your leaves kind of go on each back panel there, and we'll just put adhesive right on that top portion there, and then you can bring it about halfway, which I think that looks good there. Make sure we have it where we want it over here. Yep, perfect. So now we have our card again. Here's the inside panels, just gorgeous. Okay, and here's our first one that we made. So there we are today. So anyway, I hope that you have a happy stamping the rest of the day and a blessed day as well. Until next time, this is Sheila from Stampin' Wishes.